So,
certainly don't.
good evening, everyone. Welcome to Helloran Rising Damage Play D&D, Episode 5. And we're all still alive. This is, good
It's a
work.
record.
Good work.
Clearly a problem you need to fix.
I will do my best. Thank you for that.
Bagsy, not it.
So, the last we were here, moving along the road, Miette picks up the telltale signs of people ahead. Tieflings, to be more specific. Discussing this, you decide to arc around by some ruins that she knows and take them by surprise. Yorick and Gus think that we should just tell them we don't want to go, and then they'll leave us alone. Trelador advises this seems unlikely, and anyway, they have a job to do first before getting sidetracked. You catch up to said tieflings who are casting about trying to find your tracks. Miette stealths behind a wall. Snow, looking to do likewise, unfortunately kicks a stone which ricochets off the wall, giving his and your positions away.
It wasn't me, it was D&D Beyond.
Initiative is rolled. You try at first to talk them into leaving the dwarves alone, but this is not going to happen as the tieflings start attacking. The fight is surprisingly tough as the cloaked tiefling summons two skeletal archers to even the odds a little. But even so, you do eventually beat them down. Yorick casts Spare the Dying on them, arguing, along with Gus, that you should just tie them up and leave them a note to say that the dwarves do not want to go home just yet. A lot of money is found on them, and a spell focus and components, along with a copy of the contract signed by one Handras, asking Torm and Saw, which you assume are the two tieflings, to bring back the dwarves known as Gus and Yorick alive to the trading post. When you ask what happens if the contract is just torn up, Snow explains that contracts are held not only by both parties, but a further copy is lodged with the contracts master in the trading post to prevent fraud. With this in mind, you tie the tieflings up, and a note is written to tell them to leave you alone or you'll cut their heads off. Subtle as ever. You give them back most of their money, but take 2 gold each, with Melissa taking 6 gold for some reason. Not sure why that happened, but there you go. Trelador advises he will take steps to prevent them chasing you down further when they regain consciousness, and stamps on a kneecap of each tiefling. This wakes them as they scream in pain and horrifies most of the rest of you, but you move away from the area. Travelling for the rest of the afternoon, Florian asks Miette if there is a safe camp somewhere close, and she leads you into yet another one of these hidden campsites. As camp is being set up, the dwarves gather firewood and have a little chat about the group. Miette smells that same arcane burnt ozone smell again and advises that you should all sleep in the trees tonight. Yorick takes the time to make a ladder to assist the dwarves in getting up into said trees, and you all start to take some rest. During the watches, however, wolves are heard howling in the distance, getting closer, and then an altercation of some kind that the wolves appear to lose. And the smell is back, stronger than ever now. And this is where we pick it up, with Melissa and Yorick at the very end of their watch. What would you like to do? Now, bearing in mind that you are in opposite trees, opposite this campsite, and the only other people that haven't taken a watch yet are Celeste, Miette, Snow, and Trelador. None of whom are in the same tree as you two.
Do we know which tree they're in?
I can show you if you like.
That's not a good
That's
sign.
never a good sign, is it?
That's not terrifying.
Stay in the trees.
Engaging stealth mode.
Battle maps for campsites perfectly normal.
Of course it is. Why would you think otherwise?
Why wouldn't it?
So, I can't put you up in the trees, obviously, because there are limits. So, the dwarves are over here, in this tree. Over here is Miette and Celeste. Melissa and Florian are over here, with Snow and Trelador in this tree.
So, question.
Yep.
Since Celeste is an elf and technically doesn't sleep, only meditates, would she automatically come to after 4 hours?
It's not that you automatically come to. You would... I mean, yeah, you would probably sort of rouse yourself after that amount of time. If you knew you were going to be taking a watch, yeah, I'll let you and Trelador do that if you wish to. You don't have to if you don't want to, because no watch pattern was actually officially arranged. So whether you would know that, I'm leaving up to you guys.
Well, that was what happened with Celeste for the last watch, so I assume she would
Fine.
feel the same with the second one.
If you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And you're doing the same, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will hop down from my tree
Okay.
with the ladder,
Are you crazy?
and I'm gonna. I don't know what other people are doing,
That's true.
and I'm gonna run across with my ladder to the tree that Celeste and Miette are in.
Okay.
And I'm gonna like
As
find a
is-
Frank, and I'm gonna climb up. And go, Celeste,
Mm-hmm.
would you mind taking a watch?
Of course not. Is everything okay?
I've heard strange noises. There
Yes.
were some wolves, and they got in a fight, and I don't think they won.
Well, that doesn't sound very good at all.
No, so keep a duty on them.
As they're doing this, I'm going to have an arrow out. I'm just watching, making sure nothing's sneaking up on you.
Okay. Make a perception check.
15.
15. You don't see anybody. Well, actually you do. Just at the edge of camp. Way over here. Coming through the trees. You see a hooded figure. Just occasionally checks the ground, looks at a tree, but moving very quietly and very slowly. So you almost didn't see him or her
I'm going
or
to keep
it.
an eye, keep watch on
Okay.
that figure whilst Yorick is doing his
Also,
thing.
that smell, that burning, arcane, sort of burnt ozone smell is back and very strong. Everybody that's awake notices this smell. Can't hear you now.
That's not very good now, is it? Be very careful, Yorick.
I will. Let me know if you need anything.
Do you want to come up this tree?
No, I'll best get back with Gus.
Very well.
Okay, so you run back over here, climb your ladder, pull it up. Okay. Make a quick perception check, Yorick.
Come on, new dice. Oh, 11.
11. Yep, everything's fine.
Yep.
Smelly, but fine.
Where's that figure at the moment?
It's stopped. Seems to have seen the camp, seen the glowing embers of the fire, seen the tents. You don't know whether it saw Yorick or not.
Can I see it from my tree?
I would say, yeah, make a quick perception check. It's
What
not
about
gonna be-
me?
You already made your perception check, Did
No,
you?
that
No,
wasn't
you
me.
didn't.
That
Okay,
was
cool.
right.
Roll your perception check.
I got 5.
5. Nope.
22.
22. Yep. You can see right over here a shadowed figure just standing just behind a tree, just watching the camp intently. He's not doing anything aggressive, he's just watching currently.
I'm going to cast around and look at the tree, see who is awake still.
Okay, with your roll, you can see that to your right, you can see Melissa sitting in her tree with arrow knocked, ready to go. You can see Trelador sort of swinging his legs on a branch, seemingly unconcerned. Everybody else appears to have gone back to sleep. Apart from Yorick, did you decide to go to sleep, or are you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. So Yorick is kind of awake, but he's just sort of in that, just trying to get comfy in a tree, going to sleep type of thing. We've all been there.
Knowing that it was also Snow's watch as well, I probably would just, with the hilt of my hand axe, poke the cat,
Okay. Snow, you get
not say anything.
sort of a gentle nudge with the butt of a hand axe.
And he'd wake up, dagger in hand, immediately from within his scarf. Huh? What?
Watch.
I'd look over at Melissa and sort of gesture over to where I could see the figure and sort of nod at her.
I'll nod in return, kind of look to Snow to see if I can catch his attention.
Snow,
I've noticed him waking up.
as you wake, the smell hits you, that arcane, that burnt magic smell. But it's much, much stronger now.
His hackles would immediately go up and he'd draw his bow.
Okay, so make a perception check for me.
It's not too bad. 19.
19. You see Melissa trying to get your attention. You see she's already got an arrow knocked, ready.
As soon as I get Snow's attention, I'm going to kind of motion to where I can see the figure.
Yeah, Snow, you have to sort of move a little to see round the tree you're in to look, and you eventually see this figure standing there. Not doing anything, just watching.
Copying, following Melissa's lead, Celeste would take her bow out and also get an arrow prepared.
Okay. So that's 3 of you training arrows on this dude, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm oblivious.
Okay. Okay. So, you see. Actually, do you see? You do. You see. Coming into the camp, very gingerly and carefully, looking around very carefully, being just heading towards the tents, seemingly unaware that you're all in the trees.
Is this the cloaked figure?
Yeah.
I'm going to carefully look them over to see if
And
they're
as-
armed.
Okay. As he gets closer to the firelight, you can all, because you all roll pretty high on your perception, apart from Trelador, you can all see this is the orc, Melissa, that you told to go and get a job. This is the one
The
that,
bandit.
that was attacking Gylus when you first met me at. Quite what he's doing in your camp, who knows? So, as you watch, as he goes towards the fire, you notice something strange underfoot throughout the camp. There's a sort of rising grey, I would say like a mist, but it seems to be denser than that. And it just seems to be swirling and eddying around the tents and around the bottoms of the tree. If you look down, you can see it sort of, it's almost like fingers trying to crawl up the sides of the trees. And you see the mist disappear into the tents that you set up earlier, physically pulling the flap back.
Is this behaviour of any kind of creature that I'm familiar with?
I would say no. This appears to be mist making itself solid to investigate your camp.
Seeing
And
this, I'm actually
crawls up the orc's legs, and he looks down in surprise, opens his mouth to scream, and tendrils just shoot straight into his mouth, cutting off all sound. You can see his eyes bulge in the firelight, and the veins stand out on the sides of his head, and then the mist envelops him completely. The mist rises. It's about 7 feet off the ground now. You can't see through it. It's completely opaque.
I unlock the arrow and raise the head to just quivering above one of my tattoos.
Is anybody doing anything? Apart from Gus snoring.
Is there any more tree above us?
Yeah, I mean, you're not right at the top of the tree. You could climb another, I don't know, 10, 15 feet if you wanted to, before it got too thin to support your weight.
And is the mist all round all of the trees?
Yes, it is. It's filling the entire camp. Thank you for the follow, Elder Wiser. It looks
Sorry.
like, as you look upon, in the mornings when you get, there's a sort of a depression in the land where mist fills that depression. So it looks like a big bowl of soup.
Yep.
Looks like that, but there's strange shapes coming out of the mist. And you see objects that were in your tents raised up out of the mist as if being inspected and then disappearing back down.
So Snow would look back to Melissa, sort of crossbow in hand, and just be,
Just shrug. I don't know. I'm just carefully watching.
Yeah, I think Celeste is just sort of trying not to move very much and just keeping an eye out as closely as she possibly can.
Would I have noticed the mist by now?
Oh, very definitely.
I want to start climbing.
You're climbing
Higher.
down or higher?
No, higher.
Higher. Okay, noted. Yep, that shouldn't be a problem. So you start climbing higher. The mist curls round the tree trunks as it seems to sense your movement, but it doesn't seem to get more than about 10 feet high.
Boy, I'm glad that ladder was 12 foot.
Yeah, I was just about to say, how long was that ladder?
At least 12 foot.
Yorick, please? Because Gus has a tendency to exaggerate how long things are.
I would say it was long enough to get up into the tree. That sort of meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can really make that decision unbiasedly.
Okay, I'll tell you what, roll me a d20.
Oh no, a 1 foot ladder.
Well, if
Well,
we're going
I have
on
a
50, I genuinely rolled a 12.
a 12. Okay, well, we'll go with that then. We'll go with
Right.
You? I wasn't lying.
it's a 12-foot ladder. You managed to pull it up after you, so you're about sort of 12, 15 feet off the ground, but you're completely oblivious because the pair of you are asleep.
Yep.
And the rest of you, if you glance over to the tree that dwarves are in, knowing that they didn't get that far off the ground, you can see again the tendrils of mist almost like grasping hands trying to claw at the bark to try. It seems to pull itself up, but it doesn't seem to be succeeding.
It's not going any higher than about 10 feet up.
Yeah, about 10 feet, a little bit, maybe 11 with just a bit of reach. It seems to sort of shift from side to side like water in a glass. Like a wave, it tries to get up high and then falls back.
So the dwarves are in the tree on their own, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
How far away is that tree from me?
Well, you are here, so 5, 10, 15, 20, about 35 feet.
And they're carrying the box, aren't they? Gus's box.
What box?
The box,
box that
no.
that we're
I
delivering.
think Snow's got the box.
Snow has the
So,
box. Snow has the box, for sure.
at this point, despite tiredness, I'm going to wake Florian to make sure he's safe. If we need to move up.
Florian wakes up, looks at you, knowing that you wouldn't normally wake him up at this darkened sky without a reason, so he stays quiet. Plus, I can't do a Barry White impression to save my life, so. Or Tom Waits, to be fair.
I'm going to do something really stupid to try and wake the dwarves up.
Okay. Roll for stupid. I like this.
Would I have had a long rest, considering I'm on last watch and I'm an elf? I only need
Yes.
4 hours.
Yes, you and Celeste can both take a long rest.
So I would like to phase step into the other tree.
Okay. How far is phase step? It's 30 feet, isn't it?
Yeah, 30 feet.
Okay. And what
Misty step, do you mean? Or
No,
you
no,
have
phase
different to me?
So, how far did I say it was? 35 feet?
5.
Should be
You got
interesting.
to jump 5 feet first and then do it.
Okay. So, we will say, roll a d20. If you beat me, you make it to the tree. If you don't, well, things will happen.
3.
3. You will not be surprised to find out that I beat you. So, you cast, poof, across you go, and unfortunately fall short and fall to the ground.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
You fall into, well, when I say you fall into the ground, you fall onto the mist. It's soft and giving and warm, uncomfortably warm, and there is a noise like static, as you feel yourself being pulled into the mist.
Can I try and climb the tree that I've just fallen short of?
You can make an acrobatics check to get to the tree.
D&D Beyond's gone janky. So I don't know if you've got my character sheet.
I will try. I didn't have it open, but I'll have a look.
It's 19 on the dice. I can't remember.
Acrobatics, I said, didn't I? Yep. So
I've
that's a
got
plus 5. So 24. Yeah.
24.
So I'll say that you managed to scramble free just as the mist is trying to get into your mouth and up your nose. You manage to pull yourself free and grab onto the tree and climb up
Just
out of reach.
as he
I
climbs
like
up to the tree, I'm just going to lock eye contact with him, look down at the bow in my hands, look across at Celeste with her bow, and look back at Snow with his crossbow.
Snow's probably leaning slightly out around the tree, so he's braced against the tree,
Okay.
but he's got a locked on bead on the hooded figure. He's not
You
paying
can't
attention.
actually see the hooded figure anymore. He's below the
Right.
mist, completely
I had-
covered.
I had an arrow half drawn to shoot something metal around Yorick to wake him up.
Would obviously would I remember where he was, the rough area where he
Yeah,
was?
you could. Yeah, you would know the rough area you last saw him.
I will climb the dwarf's tree, and as I go past them, I'll try and wake them up.
Okay, yeah, you can wake them up with.
What are you doing up here?
Something below us. Don't get out.
Ooh, what's that?
Do I look like I know?
I don't know. I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at that.
Yeah. Don't go down there.
All right. That's a good idea. I won't go down there.
And
So-
I look over to
At the renewed noise in that tree, the mist waves get ever more frantic trying to get up, and you notice they are creeping up a little bit higher each time as they sort of leave the tree where snow is.
I think we better go up a bit, don't you?
think so.
Okay, I want acrobatics checks from you two then. Trellador, you're fine.
Or we could
Acrobatics.
Lodge the ladder on a thick branch, and I can hold it while Yorick goes up, and then he can hold it at the top while I go up.
I'm still going to want acrobatics checks from you. In the dark, in full armour, yeah.
Okay.
I want some acrobatics checks, please.
As
Also again.
the mist moves away from my tree, does it reveal any more of the fella on this side as it shrinks away?
Not really,
it's-
no, because you remember he was over here. So when it's, I mean, it might when it rolls back a bit. Let's have a look. Does it? It does. Every now and again, as the mist sort of comes back towards your tree, you look over and you can just see this almost petrified body of this orc with his face in a scream that no sound is coming out of. His eyes bulging, his veins stood out. But it's briefly as the mist, it covers him again and tries to get up into the tree.
So is the mist sort of receding from everybody else's trees and heading more towards the
Well,
dwarves?
it's like you know when you're in a pool and it's got a wave machine.
Mhm.
It sort of sucks back and then rushes forward to try and get up the tree, and then sucks itself back again, and then pushes forward.
It's not trying to get any higher on any of the other trees, just the dwarven tree.
It's trying to build momentum so it can get up the dwarven tree because it's heard. Well, you presume it's heard noise up there, and that's what it's going for. Plus,
an
there was an
emotion
elf.
to-
Snow fires towards the edge, sort of, where the trees are on the right, sort of the entrance to the camp where
over
this
here, yeah.
figure, where this figure came from.
Yeah.
He fires at the tree, at
Okay.
the sort of in the gap.
Okay, make an attack roll.
21.
21. Yeah, you fire, you hit into a tree. Thunk. You see your bolt land.
Any reaction from that mist?
None whatsoever.
an motion for myself and Florian to climb a little bit higher to give ourselves some distance.
Okay.
And then going to kind of look to see if I can spot where the campfire was.
Okay, make a perception check.
Perception 19.
19. I mean, you know roughly where it was, and when the mist rolls back towards the tree that snows it to gather momentum, you can just see the tips of this tent coming out of the mist, and the orc just sort of standing transfixed, as if held in place.
Hmm.
I
Until
got
the
a
mist goes streaming back over him again.
I got a 13 chance for the acrobatics check.
13. And Yorick? Sorry? Can't hear you, mate.
Can't hear you.
Why not?
Oh, there
I can
you
hear you
go.
now.
Oh, weird. Oh, it doesn't matter then. Yeah, it's fine. We'll just forget that I got a 6.
Okay.
Oops.
A 6. Okay. Yorick, you don't seem to be able to climb this ladder. It's just evading you. It's dark, it's scary, it's cold. There's some weird shit below you. Gus actually stood on one of your fingers earlier and it really fucking hurts.
Oh, Yorick!
How do you get off? I'm trying.
Oh, I'll drop my rope down to you. Tie that round, and I'll try help you pull you up.
As
So
these
I'll, do
two,
that. I'll drop one end of the rope down to him,
Okay.
and so see if I can give him a heave ho up the ladder while he's
Okay.
trying to climb at the same time.
Make an acrobatics check with advantage this time, Yorick. And Gus, make a strength check, please. Make sure you can hold on.
Oh God!
Okay.
New dice are going well, I can tell.
The new dice are betraying me spectacularly.
Oh dear.
Was that acrobatics again?
Yes, please.
8 this time.
8. Slightly better then.
Advantage.
I got 14.
14. Okay. I'll say with a number of false starts and broken branches falling down into the mist, and you've genuinely worried that you're not going to make this, Yorick, it is almost impossible. You finally get enough momentum with Gus pulling on the other end of the rope to grab one of the rungs of the ladder safely. The ladder stops moving around and you manage to scramble up it another 10 feet up into the tree.
as they're making all that noise, I'm going to use my crimson right to light one of my arrows on fire.
Okay.
2 points of damage to myself for that. I'm then going to kind of carefully aim my shot at
Okay.
the campfire
So make
where
an
I can
aim
see
shot for the campfire. Okay.
in an attempt to light it on fire again.
Okay. Make your attack.
20 to hit.
20. So you balance yourself carefully. Pull back with your big longbow, because it is a big longbow, isn't it? You've got, and let it go, and there's a sort of as the arrow goes firing off into the dark night and through the mist, and you hear this static noise as the arrow thumps into the mist. It's some like soft flesh it's hit. Right, and you lose track of the fire on the end of the arrow as it disappears into the mist.
I'm going to stay there with another arrow knocked.
Yeah, Snow would have reloaded by this point and taken aim at the orcs, at the orc.
Okay. Make an attack, if that's what you wish to do.
24 this time.
24. Yeah, you wait for the shift in the mist as it pulls back as if on a beach, and you fire. You hit this orc in the shoulder. Roll your damage.
Would I get sneak attack on this?
Yes, for sure. He does not know you are there.
Okay. Oh, okay. 17 points of damage.
17 points of damage. You see this arrow, the bolt sink into his shoulder. No reaction from him whatsoever, despite the amount of damage you know you've just done, as the mist covers him again.
I'm going to look over to Celeste and motion for her to wake up Miette. Lead everybody on this.
I will, because I don't know. I assume Miette's probably higher up the tree to begin with than anybody else was.
Yes, very definitely. So she's not that far above you, but far enough you would have to, about 10 feet up, so you'd have to little climb up, but it looks fairly straightforward. Sorry, Misty, I missed that.
Sorry, I was just saying to not yank my tail.
No,
No.
very bad idea.
I will get my quarters. No, actually, I'll just reach up with my bow and sort of tap it against the branch that she's on.
Okay. So, yeah, you awake to rapid tapping of wood on wood.
Look down at Celeste.
And then I just sort of gesture to the mist.
As you look down, you can see this mist shifting and ebbing and flowing like a wave on a beach. It's very disconcerting, and you can all of you hear this static type noise now.
And the smell is still present.
The smell is very much. The smell is very much present. It is very, very strong.
So is there any possibility that I have seen this mist before?
You recognise the sound it's making, for sure. This sound has pursued you for a number of nights now. In fact, give me a perception check, please. Actually, no, make it a wisdom saving throw.
Never a good turn.
14.
14. Okay. So as you look down into this mist, you can see, just vaguely start to see faces in this mist. Faces of people you know. Faces that just sort of appear to be screaming silently at you and reaching with arms as if you can help them.
Well, the method that got me safely to the city didn't fail. Must leave into my mouth so they don't scream.
Okay. Good work. So, as this mist is getting more and more frantic around the bottom of this tree the dwarves are in, you can see it starting to leave the other trees and trying to build itself and make itself taller, but it doesn't seem to be able to do so. It's becoming more dense around the bottom of that tree, but it's not getting any higher. And as it coalesces around this tree, it's almost solid now. You can see the campfire with your arrow sticking out of it. You hit. Well done. The fire is out completely. You can see the tents strewn about, your belongings everywhere around the floor. It's a mirror image almost of that caravan you saw earlier. Their possessions just strewn about all over the place.
Either of you two got any bright ideas?
Ooh.
You do not, however, see the orc.
Fire doesn't seem to hurt it because it put the fire out, so that's no good. And it's not really got a body, so you can't shoot it. So I'm out of ideas. Have you tried chopping at it with your axe?
I didn't get close enough. I mean, I was in it briefly, but I didn't want to stay in it.
Oh, I don't blame you. See what... I wonder what it was.
Seems very interested on this tree. You two probably.
Maybe it's just because this is where all the noise was and it knew there was something here.
I've had an idea.
Tell me of your idea.
I'm
Oh no,
going
you've got robot.
to remove a certain
Okay, try again.
on my back. Okay, I'm going to remove a certain jewel dagger from my bags and just try throwing that at where the mist is coalescing at the base of the tree. Because the dagger's not in this world either.
Try it. Make a ranged attack roll.
Yeah, no, I think my fear of the event has gotten the better of me. That was only a 9.
That's 9. Yeah, you whip this dagger across, and I mean, it hits the mist, but it seems to bounce straight off it and plunge into the tent just about here. The mist is like a solid block round the bottom of this tree now.
But bounced off rather than went through.
Correct.
So if only Celeste was up the tree, she could control the weather. Yeah, do that.
Well, look, that dagger that Miette just chucked bounced off it. So if it's solid enough to bounce, maybe we can shoot it. And I'll get my longbow out and have a shot at it. Not my longbow, a crossbow.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't have a longbow.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
with it.
make an attack roll.
Okay. That's a 16.
16. Yeah, your arrow, your bolt thumps out of the tree and bounces off the top of this block of grey, writhing hands and faces now and falls onto the floor.
Ooh. Okay, well that didn't work. What about someone shooting magic stuff at it? Anyone got any magic stuff?
Do I look like I have magic stuff?
I don't know.
No.
That's it. There's nothing left to do. And just sit down and I'll go, oh, Riox, I'm so sorry for running away. Please don't murder us.
Oh, Yorick, do your golden blasty thing from the sky down on it. See if that hurts it.
I could try, I suppose. Alright. Yeah, all right. And I'll cast Guiding Bolt at the floor.
I actually could
Some
fail.
solid.
But, okay.
Well,
Okay. So, guiding bolt, that's an attack roll, yes? Make your
yes,
attack.
it is. Ooh. The dice have turned up.
Awesome.
Natural 20.
Superb. Okay. So, roll your damage.
46, so 8d6.
29.
29. Nice. So, as you say your little prayer to Reorx, and then, prompted by Gus, throw your guiding bolt down. I'm presuming, takes the shape of a sort of a light forged hammer as it throws.
Hitting just head on, yeah.
So it sort of, you all see this bright, glowing hammer come down out of the tree and smash into this grey cube, and it seems to pierce into it weirdly and scatter across the top, and you see these motes of this golden light just start sinking into this greyness, and sort of wisps of smoke start to come off it.
Oh, that
'Cause
worked.
that was radiant damage, correct?
Was, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So it just seems to recoil in horror, and you can see it spreading out again, getting thinner.
Seeing this, I will also throw a guiding bolt.
Okay, go for it.
So I get advantage because of the previous guiding
You do,
bolt.
yeah.
Good point.
20, non-natural 20.
Yep. Roll your damage.
20 points of radiant damage.
Nice. So what form does your guiding bolt take?
Like a shooting star.
Okay. So you see this bright silver star come firing out from the tree that Celeste is in. And again, it hits impact. You can see the impact dents into this mist. And then the light scatters across the surface. You can see it eating into this fog and this mist. And you get the impression that it's now trying hurriedly to go back to a more gaseous form as it spreads itself very thinly and goes down to about 4 or 5 feet off the floor.
Again, Yorick, do it again.
Right. I'll just start lobbing sacred flames at it.
Okay, do me a sacred flames, a dex save, right?
Saves, yeah.
Yeah, that's a 9. So roll some damage.
6 points of damage. Radiant.
Okay, cool. So your sacred flame, again, I'm assuming another flaming hammer, batters into the ground. You can see it makes a sort of well of air in this mist as this mist starts to disperse and disappear, almost as if it's sinking back into the ground.
Do it again, Yorick. Do it again, Yorick.
Just going to be in the tree, just going. Ah!
So as you go, they're now making just holes in the floor as the mist gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner until it disappears completely.
Did I do it?
You did it. You did it. And you'll see the tree shaking as Gus is bouncing up and down with excitement.
Oh God. Okay. Make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Good.
Gus. And Yorick and Trellador.
11 could be.
Oh, good stuff. 20.
20.
21.
21. Okay, so Gus, as you're bouncing up and down, you hear the crack of a branch beneath your foot, and you fall, but you manage to catch on with your arms, but your feet are now dangling in the air.
Uh-oh.
I'm just going to start laughing. Do you need down there?
I'll start doing pull-ups and start it out.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll just stare with my on my eyebrows raised. Gus.
Yeah, he appears to be attempting to do pull-ups. How strong are you, Gus?
No, that's strong. 14.
14. I'll say you could do 3, maybe 4.
That's
Before
about right.
it gets a bit much, you just sort of hang in there now.
I'll look over at Yorick, and if I get his attention, just sort of nod at him.
I'm going to start scampering down the tree.
Okay. Cool. Okay, well. Let's see where we get to. So you go down the tree. We don't need our battle map now, I don't think. So we'll go back to my beautiful face, obviously, because that's what you want. I know you types. So, you scamper down the tree. Anybody else going down the trees?
I'll just sort of drop
Snow
more.
goes further up.
Okay.
Try and
I'm
get a bit.
looking around for any other figures around the camp.
Okay,
He
make a
goes up.
perception check.
He goes up as high as possible to try and get a good vantage point.
Again, perception check, please.
Any sign of the orc?
None whatsoever.
20.
20, okay. Melissa?
17.
17. You look around, the camp appears to be as it was before, apart from all the bits and pieces that were in the tents and round the tents are just sort of scattered all over the place. The fire is out. The trees all look to be completely unharmed. There's no claw marks or scratch marks or bite marks anywhere. And there is no sign of the orc. Further afield, Snow, as you look out around the camp back towards the trail, everything appears to be quiet and normal.
You'll see me in the middle, kind of wander up to the campfire and just kind of go, "Thank you, big dog."
Fair enough.
Once I
I'll come down
realised-
the tree, just sort of lean against the tree.
Once I realise everything seems to be safe, I'm just going to motion for Florian to go back to sleep, and I'm going to go back to sleep myself.
Okay.
Is the smell gone?
The smell is lingering, but it's not as strong as it was, so it appears to be dissipating.
Right, you're right. We better go back up that tree and go back to sleep then, haven't we?
I don't know if I can now. I'm all buzzing from that.
You did really well.
Just kind of hopping around a bit.
See, I told you Riox hadn't abandoned you. He was right with you then, wasn't he?
I know, I asked him not to murder us, and then you gave me that idea. I bet he put that idea in your head and you passed it on to me.
He probably did.
Ah, dwarves.
Right, go on. Go back up the tree, and even if you can't sleep, at least you can rest safe up there in case it comes back.
Alrighty, alright. Don't break in any more branches, though.
I'll try not to. I did get a bit excited.
Snow would start to come down the tree, but then would slink down it stealthily.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
Are you okay, Miet?
27.
Cool.
Have you seen this before?
On my way to the city.
Well, it seems to respond to noise. It very much focused on the tree with Gus and Yorick after Trelador decided he was going to. But radiant damage seems to work against it, at least.
I think I only survived by staying high and staying quiet.
Indeed. Anyway, I'm awake to carry on watching if you want to get some more sleep.
Snow would just all of a sudden just appear behind the two dwarves and say to them, just lean down in between the two of them in dwarvish.
They're up the tree, by the way.
Oh, have they gone back up the tree now?
They have.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. He's just going to
I have ruined your moment.
Yeah, and just keep moving around from tree to tree for a while and just stick to the shadows.
Okay.
Almost invisible.
Okie dokie.
I'll slink up to Celeste and just go, so in your expert magical opinion, what the hell's that?
I could ask you the same thing.
Well, I don't know what it is. You look like weather.
It's a fair call.
You do tend to fixate on the little things, don't you, Trelador?
I wouldn't say that. It was a magical problem. You're the magic one.
I don't know what it was. All I know is it seems to dislike radiant magic.
Lucky us, eh?
It also seems to respond to noise.
Well, we should have to be quiet.
At this point, Snow appears at his shoulder. Perhaps that's a good idea. Go back to your tree and shut up. And just disappear again.
I just sort of look off in Snow's direction with a sort of faint smile on my face.
You don't see him. He
Where
literally-
where Snow was then.
I've had enough of trees, so I'm patrol round the ground.
Okay.
If you wish.
So we've got Trellador and Snow patrolling on the ground. We've got Celeste staying up in the tree. Everybody else has gone back to sleep. Is this correct? Okay. So those three, I'll have a perception check from all of you.
Well, I definitely get practice.
I think Miette was saying that she's not going to sleep yet.
Okay. If you wish to make a perception check, you may.
13.
Celeste is a little spooked. She's only got 10.
10.
9.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Nice. 9. And you got, Snow?
13.
13. Yeah, everything appears to be quiet. And the smell is dissipating. As Grumpy Bear did say, somebody Febrezed it. Yet, knowing what you know, and having experienced this kind of thing before, you're loath to go back to sleep because it could just pop out at any minute. And you sit and you listen for that chittering, staticky noise, but you don't hear it. You hear the insects suddenly start up again in the forest. The small mammals, the nocturnal mammals, you can hear them too. So you're pretty sure everything's going to be fairly safe. If they're back and moving, whatever it was does not appear to be around anymore. So the rest of the night passes, hours go by, the sunlight starts to break as the dawn breaks onto the camp, and you can see the devastation that has been caused in the sunshine. It is a new day. You may all have a long rest.
Yay.
So, morning brings. Your camp's a bit of a mess. Nothing appears to be broken or damaged in any way. It's just sort of thrown about, which is odd because you didn't hear any noise of things being thrown about. You've just woken up or the mist disappeared and there it was, sort of strewn about the campsite.
I'm going to climb back down from the tree and start collecting my things and getting into my normal morning routine.
And I went to retrieve the jewel dagger I trained last night.
Okay. Sorry, Yorick, you were saying something.
I said, does anyone know what the bloody hell that was last night?
Well, I asked Celeste the same thing.
I don't think she would know.
Do you know?
Unfortunately not. I encountered many a nasty thing that shouldn't be in this world, but that ain't something I've encountered before, I'm afraid.
Seemed almost sentient.
Mm.
I've never met angry fog before.
No, I can't say I have either. I'm just going to go and inspect around where the orc disappeared from.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Let me clarify something.
Yeah.
7.
The orc and the cloaked figure were different figures?
No, it was the same person. As he got into the firelight, you recognised him.
So 7, so not
7.
much.
No, looks perfectly normal.
That figure we saw last night get consumed by the fog was one of the ones that had attacked Gallus, one of the ones I'd sent to sort of laugh at.
Well, that didn't go well for him, did it?
Trellador, I suggest you listen to the advice I gave you before.
I
Can't
don't
say something
need-
nice, don't say nothing at all.
I don't
All right,
need
honey.
your advice. And don't call me.
So,
I think
should we
yes.
get some breakfast and then carry on?
I think Miet's advice last night saved our lives.
I think you're right. Thank you, Miet.
I think you're right too. Thank you, Miet.
You're all very welcome.
We should also give a bit of a thank you to Reorgs, because, you know.
Definitely.
Rest of
Yes,
you have no idea what he's talking about.
Yes, it seemed to not like radiant damage.
Actually,
I already
So-
have spoken to Yorick about Reoxys.
yeah, because you do know. You're the only one that does. The rest of you have no idea what he's talking about.
Also, make sure to collect my arrow from the fire before it gets relit.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
What do you mean radiant damage? Just
Well, the spell I cast, and I believe that you cast, is a radiant spell. And that's what it seemed to react negatively to and made it disperse.
well, I never heard it called radiant before. It's just divine power.
I think divine power is another way of saying radiant.
All right.
But
If it was light seemed to be affecting it right bad, well, my hunch is either something ain't nobody knows, or it's going to be some kind of fiend or undead creature. Possibly undead, some kind of spirits. I'm not certain. Ain't never seen nor heard nothing like it, but if light like that's affecting it, then may well be a good start. But we should get back on the road and deliver our package.
yet, when you saw this fog before, was it during the daytime or was it at night time?
It followed me at night, every night.
I get the feeling then that any bright light affects it, perhaps.
Wait, did you say it's following you?
When I escaped from my caravan, yes.
Well, there's the problem there.
Trelador, you seem to think the problem is with everybody.
Perhaps, Trelador, we should abandon you because of all the misery you keep bringing us. But we
Not
ain't.
Not misery, is real life.
Trelador, if you keep going about things assuming they're going to be bad, then they're going to be bad. If you start thinking things a bit more positive, things might go your way, and maybe you won't be such a misery guts all the time. All right,
You really are very naive.
honey.
No one's forcing you to stay, Trelador.
No, we were just talking about this mist, and she admitted it's following her.
Enough.
Just pointing out the fact.
You are arguing like children. Enough. And I am finding my tempers are getting a little bit frayed.
Don't blame you. Either way, I realize I made a bit of an accounting error last night. I think these last 2 gold that went unaccounted for should go to you, Miet, for that advice you gave us. Seems y'all saved our lives last night.
Thank you.
I've been meaning to ask you something. This doesn't matter to me, but I thought it was a bit weird. You keep handing out money to everybody, but keeping a load for yourself. Is that normal around here?
Tithe, honey.
Sorry?
It's tithe.
What's that then?
Money for temple.
Oh, okay.
By
Maybe you
my
should.
word.
I think maybe you should do that as well then. But then again, we don't need money, do we? Really?
Not really.
Whatever. Just thought it was weird, that's all.
I do promise that I am dividing it evenly and then dividing up the remainder. I split it between all of us before I start
No,
tampering.
we don't mind. I mean, it doesn't really matter to us, but it just seems strange, that's all.
So when you say money for
Right.
temple, are you giving it to all the temples?
No, it's for my temple.
Or why is your temple special?
Because it's the one I worship at.
Or maybe
The
I
one-
should take some extra and give it to Riox instead.
May I go
Or-
look for you?
Or maybe your
No, I don't care really.
gods are more acting on your deeds rather than gold.
Ain't
And maybe, just maybe, we can actually get on with the business at hand.
I
think that's
agree.
a better idea. I
Um,
can teach y'all a bit more about my temple. Perhaps when we ain't out in the wilderness with some kind of soul-eating fire.
maybe we should get on the road and yet make sure you let the mist know which direction we're travelling in so it can find us. And Trellador just stroll off.
I just kind of give a side eye to Celeste and kind of make a face that's like, I am seconds away from slapping this person.
Snow will unbutton the holster with the hand crossbow in and the small sort of harness with the bolt holder for the smaller crossbow. Take it off his leg and sort of just hand it to Miette without any ceremony or word.
Can you really talk to it, Miette?
Thank you.
Keep it
Can
for
I
now. It might
talk?
be useful.
Sure.
Well, Trellador said you were going to talk to it and tell it where we were going. Can you really talk to it?
I think that was
No,
sarcasm.
Yes, he was being sarcastic. He believes that I am leading the mist to attack us all.
Oh, okay.
Call that alone until we get somewhere where we can get you another.
I think the thing with Trellador is he sees everything as black and white. Whereas, unfortunately, life is much more complicated than that.
Evidently.
This uses Gus terribly because trying to use a metaphor with colour then talking about life, it's sort of like not going in very well.
Yeah, darling, this your dagger here?
She already picked that up.
Oh, right, sorry. Must have missed that.
Yeah, first thing she did.
So at some point during this breakfast conversation / argument, I will have cast my blessing of the forge on my armor. But I'm also going to assume that happens every morning, so I don't need to
Yeah, that's
specifically
fine.
say unless I'm told otherwise, or situations.
Yep. Okay, that's cool.
Martin, has Kim been slamming your fingertips in the drawers again? They're all black. They're going to drop off.
He's just being very stylish.
Before we break camp, I am going to inscribe the same message I did to the last camp.
Okay. Noted.
And then
Okay. So, heading back to the trail that you had picked out to get you to Giffield, you see Trellador not quite going the right way. He's sort of going off that way and you're heading that way. Trellador, you notice the rest of them just veering off towards that way and you're...
Yeah, I'll look around, see the rest of them going, and stride back. Not saying anything.
No, pulls his hood forward again and just harnesses it, casting himself in shadow and just disappears into the forest
Okay.
around them.
Cool, cool. So we've got Miette up front. Who's at the back? Would that be Trenador by any chance?
Yeah, can do.
And Snow. So Miette, Trenador, Snow. Some perception checks as we walk on down.
Natural 20.
Nice.
10.
10,
18.
18. Okay. Yeah, you're concentrating more on finding the path rather than looking around at what could or could not be problems. Snow, you dodge in and out of the trees. When Miette leads you through an open space, you fold back into the group as if nothing had happened, and then as soon as there's cover again, away you go round. You don't see anything particularly out of the ordinary. You do come across a couple of large stones that are sort of set at an odd angle, but they look as though they've been there forever. There's nothing written on them, they're just large stones, about 4 or 5 feet high. Tranador, wandering along at the back of the party, you've got a good view over all of them. And every now and again, you look over your shoulder because you swear somebody's following you. It's nothing you can put your finger on, but it's just that feeling when you know there's somebody there. You know it, but every time you turn round or you stop to listen, nothing. There's nothing there.
I won't say anything. Just keep.
Okay. So you travel on for a few hours, walking in fairly bright sunshine. So it's getting a little chillier now during the days. It's not quite so warm. It's still not cold, but there's a little edge to the air as you walk eastwards. And finally you crest a rise and you can see down and to your right, you could just see the coast. You could see water far, far in the distance. And even further, if you squint, you imagine you can see buildings, but you're not really sure whether you can
That's
or
a
not.
big lake.
So,
You ever seen a lake that big, Yorick? Well, I know you haven't because you were always with me. It's very big, isn't it?
It's not a lake.
What do you mean it's not a lake?
It's not a lake. It's much, much bigger.
Okay, what do you call it then?
That, my friend, is the sea.
well, it's kind of the inland sea that you know leads out into the wider ocean. But it is very, very big.
So what's the sea then? How is it different to a lake?
Lakes have borders.
Yeah.
Lakes have shores. The sea does not. It encloses this world on all sides.
Wow. Write that down, Yorick.
I
First time today.
just
I
See,
think
yeah,
as well with the sea, it's not always possible to find the bottom.
What is that deep?
It can be, yes.
Wow.
I do know about that. I don't think I want to be water that deep.
And the
Well,
water
no.
tends to be a lot saltier.
Salty?
Salty water.
Like what you put carrots in?
Can't you smell it in the air?
I mean, you're a bit too far away for that, but you can see it in the distance.
Wait till we get a bit closer.
This is a bit weird.
I would
I mean,
call the ocean.
we like go swimming in the lakes in the mountain and have a bath and stuff. Well, once a year at least. But never heard of salty water and such big and deep. I don't like that.
Oh no, it ain't that bad. I remember when I was growing up, nothing more beautiful than looking out across the ocean as the sun is setting.
What's the ocean? Is this like the sea?
Same thing, just a different name.
Oh,
Different name.
But what they're all not telling you about is the many, many stories of the terrible monsters that live in the ocean that rise up and drag ships down to the bottom.
oh,
Oh, no.
that's amazing. Tell me some more. I'd like to see now.
We like to fight.
They say there's fish so big in the ocean that they could swallow ships whole, and the ships just float in the fish's stomachs, while all the sailors not able to escape.
There are some creatures in there that are so big that we wouldn't even be as big as their eyeball.
That's crazy.
That would be a good fight.
Just poke it in the eye, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I'll just make a note. Big fuck off fish. Good, right.
There's always a bigger fish.
So, as you walk towards this sea or coastline, with Miette regaling you of stories of sailors lost at sea and swallowed whole by monsters and fish bigger than mountains, you walk for a good few hours, and eventually you can smell that sharp tang of sea air as you get closer to the coast. Still not quite there yet, but you can smell it, and the vegetation has changed. Gone are the sort of rolling plains and the bushes and copses and trees that you've been walking through. Now it's more sort of moorland. You can smell the water in the air, and there are places that Miette avoids that look lush and green and beautiful. And as you walk closer and closer to the coast, you can see you're heading up at first, and then the land seems to drop away quite sharply down to a sandy shore. Who's barefoot and singing? No, wait, sorry. Only for older people, that one. So you can see a sandy shore and the marshy seagrasses that line the beach, and this glittering in the sunshine, this water that smells so very weird to some of you. But it is, you have reached, you would say, probably the halfway point of the trail from Kleinwater to Giffield that Miette is taking you along.
I suppose it would save time if you wanted to boil some potatoes. You wouldn't need to add salt to your water, would you?
I suppose not.
That'd be quite handy.
I think it's normally a little bit more salt than you would normally add to your pot, though.
Oh, you don't know my mum's cooking.
So, walking along the shoreline, not quite on the beach, but just above, through the dunes, you can see far, far in the distance a very tall tower. Looking behind, you can see, well, not quite. You think you can see Kleinwater, or you're imagining it's there. You think, probably. But ahead of you, there's definitely a tiny tower on the horizon that is your destination. So, as you're walking along the shore, we will take a little break and get a drink and have a little relax. So, we'll see you in a few minutes. So, welcome back. I hope everybody's nice and refreshed. So, walking along the, not quite the shoreline, but very close to it, bearing in mind your instructions were to not go in it with any of the water. I mean, you're a good sort of, I don't know, 100 feet or so away from the water itself, so.
And you used to say it's a tabaxi carrying it anyway, so.
A tabaxi that likes water.
They like bugs.
Well,
That's
that is
slightly
true, yeah.
different.
So, wandering along, you know, yeah, there's a, not exactly hidden, but an out of the way campsite about 2 hours from here. So, did you wish
Is
to
there
walk
sand
there?
underfoot?
There is not at the moment. It is more, so, you know, that seagrass type of stuff. Occasionally, the earth is very, very fine, but it's not quite sand.
Okay.
So you keep walking, with Miette still trying to scare the shit out of the dwarves by telling them horror stories of the sea.
And they're lapping them up.
Yeah. Well, Gus is.
Yeah.
Gus is just getting Yorick to write him all down.
You walk for another hour, hour and a half, and then Miette starts to head back inland to yet another campsite. It's pretty dull, this walk along to Giffield, but, you know, money's money. So walking along, you don't see the campsite as you're walking, but Miette leads you down, not quite on a path, but it winds round some tall clumps of grass and then opens out into a nice, clear, bare earth, hard packed earth campsite with large logs of seating and a fire pit in the middle. And it's concealed. When you're standing up in the middle of it, you can see at sort of eye level, you can see across all the dunes, but you would imagine it'd be very difficult for anybody to see you. So, this is your camp. What would you like to do?
Well,
Set up a tent.
we are sleeping in trees again tonight, or
There are no trees here.
no?
I feel like I'm going to be giving that really tall tower some long looks right now.
Well, what are we going to do if the angry fog comes back?
Indeed.
How far away is that tower now?
I mean, if you kept walking through the night, you'd probably reach it by midday tomorrow.
Yeah, which is not an option.
Well, I mean, you could.
I'd say we all stay sleeping.
If we survive.
If we get away for that nasty smell, we wake up Celeste and Yarick and they can handle it. These two both show that you can deal with this fog.
We can handle it, can't we, Celeste?
Can you see that, Yorick?
Oh, maybe.
I hope so.
Okay. So you're going to camp here, or are you going to move on?
I think we're going to camp here.
Okay. You set your tents up.
Yeah, just no places in reach.
There are none, unless you go back the way you came.
Are there any big rocks?
You could go out and have a scout about for some if you want.
Just thinking if we need somewhere to get off the ground, maybe we could scoot up a big rock or something.
I mean, you could certainly go and have a look. Spend sort of 20 minutes searching the area for big rocks if you want.
Yorick, you want to come look for big rocks with me?
Right?
Okay. Do me a perception check as they range. Whilst they're gone, would you like anybody else like to do anything?
No,
Checking for messages if there's any to leave them here.
Sure. Okay. Make an investigation check, yet.
Actually, 15.
15, okay. Yeah, so your investigation check. 11. You go to the normal messaging places. There are no new messages here.
know which shadow the dwarves, but as he leaves, everyone would see he's got these gorgeous, sort of curved, almost tulwar blade, which is one of his daggers, and one of the smaller sort of throwing ones, one in each hand,
Okay.
and just melts into the shadow after the dwarves, just shadowing them.
Okie dokie. Make a stealth check, please.
20.
Okay.
Whilst they're all ranging about, I'm going to be doing some maintenance on my bow, making sure the string is still tight and everything's still good.
I'll
Noted.
start trying to prepare a meal of sorts with what we've got access to, see if there's any sort of wild vegetation we can maybe add in to give it a bit of flavour.
Make a nature check.
You were going to say something, Martin?
Yeah, I got a natural 20 for 25 on.
Nice.
15.
15. You identify a few things that you think, I mean, by the look and smell and taste, feel of them, they should be herbs. But they're subtly different from the ones that you would normally use.
I will sample them myself before I put any of them in the food, just to make sure
mean,
that they're not.
They do taste like herbs, yeah. Should be fine.
They look like herbs, taste like herbs, they're fine.
Should be fine. As long as your tongue doesn't swell up or anything, you'll be good.
So I've got to name you Yorick the Rock Finder now, have I?
Yes, indeed you have. As Yorick, you spot in the distance a more geometric shape than the hills and tussocks that are about. As you wander over to it, you can see it's a large grey stone, about 3 feet across. But if it was stood upright, it'd be about 15 feet, but it's not. It's sort of laying at an angle. So its highest point, it's probably about 8 feet high. But then, as you're looking at it underneath, you can see what looks to be steps leading down. Carved steps as well. This is not natural. This is... somebody's made this.
Oh, let's have a go and look down there.
So you go down, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. So,
No hesitation.
you, as soon as these steps are pointed out to you, you disappear down. Snow, maybe a perception check, please.
Natural 20 for 23.
Nice. So, as you're sort of shadowing the dwarves out, you're about sort of 50 feet from them, just sort of watching what they're doing. They find this stone, and they sort of go around the other side, and then Gus just goes, and you don't see him come around the other side. And you can see Yorick looking down. They've obviously found something. So, Gus,
Yeah.
as you walk down these stairs, the sunlight fades. And there's darkness here. And it gets a bit chilly as you walk down. You put your hands out to the sides. And where there was earth before, it's turning into stone. Dressed, worked stone as well. And you look up, and the ceiling of this place is also stone. It's a long stone passageway that ends abruptly in about 40 feet.
You're right. Let's go find out what's down here. Can't hear you, Martin.
I've not changed anything.
Oh,
No,
right.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, it's
I
weird.
said, yeah, let's go.
So you see Snow, you see Yorick disappear and not come round the other side as well. You're like, oh.
Snow just rolls his eyes and goes after them.
Okay. So you get up to this stone that's leaning at this angle. And you go round and you can see again this passageway leads down these steps into the earth itself. And you can hear the dwarves chattering to one another as they trundle along this corridor. And you can hear the echo of their voices off of stone.
Using my dwarven stone cutting,
Okay,
Right.
cool. Yep.
can I tell if it's dwarven carved stone?
You
I wouldn't know any other type of carved stone, so
no, this is true.
I looked at
It's not something you recognise. I mean, it's very good work. It's old, really old. In fact, you don't think you've ever come across anything quite this old before.
but it's not dwarven.
Doesn't appear to be.
Okay.
It's not the right
No.
style.
Snow would lengthen his stride and catch up to them quickly
Okay.
and just appear behind them.
Ah! Where'd you come from?
Perhaps we don't follow into dark places where we don't know what is down here without the other group.
That's all about exploring, isn't it? We were looking for someplace safe, and this might be someplace safe to stay the night.
And what happens if this wasn't safe and you two were taken and never seen again?
Well, we'd kill it.
What happens if you don't kill it and it kills you?
Then we'd be dead.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
All
the
right,
dwarves don't seem to see a problem with this.
Why don't you go get the rest then, and we'll wait here.
Or perhaps we all go back and we wait for the rest of the group.
Well, we've only got short legs. You can go much faster without us.
Fast.
At least come back to the stairway, please.
Oh, all
Let's go top of the stairs.
Oh, this is lovely. So, the three of you go back to the entrance where the stairs are. And presumably, Snow, you're going to...
He'd just take off running, like,
Okay.
as him, like, blazing it back.
It's not that far, so you can get there pretty quickly. The rest of you, as you're watching Celeste in her death throes as her tongue swells up and she cannot breathe. No, I'm kidding, of course. Rest of you watching Celeste trying to make the rations seem a little bit more attractive by adding some herbs and bits in that she's found. See Snow suddenly appear coming down the slope into the camp at speed.
I'll immediately stand up with my drum.
You just see this blur appear.
Everything all right now?
It would appear that our dwarvish friends have found something.
Something.
What kind of something do you mean?
It's easier just to show you. Come on.
All right.
And he's going to turn around and basically just blur out of there again towards
Okay.
the...
So you guys, you dwarves, have got, I'll say, 10 minutes before Snow gets back.
Oh, yeah.
What would you like to do? As if I didn't know what you were going to do.
It's like, come on, Greg, let's go again.
Should we go there then, Gus?
Okay. So you back down the corridor, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So you get to where the end of this is. Sort of stone wall. Make an investigation check, either of you or both of you, or you can give one of you advantage, entirely up to you.
I'll do it with advantage, maybe. What do you think? Okay.
I've got a -2 to offer, so yeah.
Non-natural 20.
Superb. Okay, so
I know he's not the brightest, so I'll do it.
so looking at this wall, as you put your hands on it, you can feel a breeze coming from the
What's she doing there?
left-hand edge, as if the passageway goes that way. But you can't. So as you look a little bit closer, you can see the smallest gap between the stonework of the wall and the wall where you're.
I'll stick my fingers in and say, "Come on, Yorick," and try and pull it back or push it or turn it, do all sorts of things, try and move it.
Make a strength check for me.
Okay.
With advantage because you're both doing it.
Okay. Oh, I got 2 2s. Does that make 4?
Yeah, it's not budging in the slightest.
You're very difficult to hear at the moment, Martin. Sort of
Yeah,
keep cutting in and out.
I think it's when you talk in your accent, you're talking very quietly.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll try and move things around a bit.
Okay. So, as you're down the end of the corridor, trying to force your way into this gap, Snow, you get back to the stone. There's no sign of the dwarves, of course. But you knew that was going to happen, right? Yeah. So the rest of you see Snow belting across the moorland. Are you following at speed, or are you just normal stroll?
Circe would probably be trying to keep up.
I figure I have a good chance of keeping up with him, so I'll bolt after him.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
just stride at the back and see why we keep getting distracted.
Okay. Melissa?
Sorry? I was track what was happening.
Okay. Snow has belted back across the moorlands. Celeste is trying to keep up, but not doing quite so well. Miette is managing to keep up, no problem. Trellador is sort of wandering along at the back. What are you and Florian? That's it.
And we'll both be hurrying because if Snow's moving this quickly, he's concerned.
Yeah, well, he's left the dwarves on their own. I mean, come on.
It's a risky move.
I've left Tweedledee and Tweedledum on their own.
Okay.
You mean Tweedledum and Tweedledummer?
Oi!
Bit rude. So, you get back. There's no sign of them at the entranceway where you left them. Yet, you see this stone at an angle and a sort of set of stairs going down.
He just walks and then goes down.
Okay. So the rest of you, as you get there, you see them both, the tabaxi, disappearing down these stairs.
Follow them.
When I see Snow coming up behind us, I'd say, "Oh, we were just checking it was safe."
Yeah, you get there and they're trying, for some reason, they're trying to pull. They've got their fingers wedged into a crack in the wall. They're trying desperately to pull or push or.
He'd just look at me, and he'd then just lean against the wall, absolutely silent, not saying a word. I would just watch them struggle.
Come on, Gus. We just need to give it a right pull.
Can we try again then?
What are we doing? Why are we down here?
Yes,
What's going on?
Do you want to try, Master? You do it this time.
Let me have a go. Ooh, that's a good start. Yeah, 23.
23. Okay. So you instead of sort of pulling at the wall, you sort of push, jam your fingers in, and you show Gus what to do. And you push, and you hear a grinding noise, and the whole wall in front of you starts to move off to your right.
I think we got it.
And that
There
sort of,
we go.
the air movement that you felt earlier comes sort of wafting towards you. It's not fresh, it's fairly stale, as if it's been... This place has been locked up for a while. This is sort of that mouldy smell. Musty.
No, really, why are we down here?
Well, we were looking for somewhere safe to be in case the foggy thing comes back again. And we found this and we thought, oh, this would be good. Because if we shut ourselves in here or something, then it can't get us, can it?
Just gotta make sure it's uninhabited.
Feel like the fog could get through even the smallest of gaps.
Well, the gaps aren't small then. That's simple, isn't it?
Either way, you don't know what's in there.
Well, no, find out.
We could find anything in here.
Yeah,
This place looks old.
I'm old.
Does it look familiar to... Does it look elven?
Make a history check.
I also do that separately.
Yes, you may.
16.
16. It doesn't look familiar. It's not the sort of airy architecture you're used to seeing with elven builds, nor is it anything any kind of style you've associated with other buildings that you've seen.
21.
21. You've seen this before somewhere, but you just can't put your finger. You know this style. You've seen it. You've seen this style somewhere. You have definitely seen it.
Seen this before. Can't quite place it.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Come on, Yorick. Let's go on and have a look.
Just be careful.
Okay, so as you step past the doorway that's now moved and now stopped moving into its frame, it's quite clever. It sort of folded itself into the wall, so now it just looks like a corridor. So you step past where the door was, looking around. I mean, it's dark. I would imagine just about all of you have dark vision. Is that correct? Yeah.
Humans.
Yeah. Okay.
Humans
so
don't.
just our humans then. Okay.
So I'm gonna get out a torch, strike it up, and kind of give it to Florian to hold.
Oh, there goes my dark vision. Oh, dear Lord.
Sorry, darlings, I can't see a thing in this darkness.
Okay.
Perhaps put the torch out until we know what is in here.
So,
You don't
as
need to
the-
see yet.
Torch is
Round here.
lit.
See.
Put
You see a flagstone floor, walls that continue on. There's room enough for one of you to walk down comfortably. And it goes on for, you think, probably about 60 feet. The roof is about 10 foot above you. Again, everything is dressed stone in that style that you know from somewhere. And you, as the dwarves sort of scuttle along like they do, pointing things out and talking to each other. Are you putting the torch out or are you leaving it lit?
Well, if we get into trouble, you best make it obvious. So we ain't gonna see a thing.
you can relight your torch if we get into trouble.
It's okay, Melissa. If you just hold on to my arm, I'll guide you. And you can guide Florian.
Get the torch extinguished and make a chain
Okay.
with Celeste and Florian.
So the light goes out. You all sort of wait till your vision adjusts again. Further up, as you catch up to the dwarves, you can hear the drip, drip, drip of water somewhere up ahead. And as you can see in the grey shades that you've got for your dark vision, you can see that this corridor ends in a blank black darkness that you don't seem to be able to see through.
Just keep going.
Okay, so you go all the way up to this black darkness. You going through, or are you touching it, or what are you doing?
So we just can't see through it.
Can't see through it. The closer you get, there's just a black, as if it's a stone wall, but it's just black.
That's strange, Yorick. You haven't seen anything like that before.
Oh, I didn't think so.
Okay, I'll take my sword out and sort of poke at it.
Sword goes through. Sword comes
Oh,
back out.
fine. I just walk through it then.
Okay.
Straight away.
So you step through, and instantly you cannot see anything.
Ooh, it's all dark in
Everything
here.
is pitch black. And your voice echoes really weirdly, like you've got into a really big room.
This is a bit disconcerting. I've never not been able to see before.
I know.
So who else has got in? Just the two dwarves? You see them both step through this inky darkness.
Who would have, I assume Snow would have been the next one.
Yeah. You go through, Snow?
Yeah.
Okay. You step through it again. You cannot see anything. But you
Which
can
way are you going?
hear a soft chime of a boom, boom.
I keep moving
Boom.
and weave in between the two of them and move forward.
It's moving with you. This chime is on you. But as you move forward past the dwarves, the chamber is flooded with light. Those of you who have not gone through the darkness yet still see darkness.
I believe Miette was next.
That's better. I can see now.
You two can see, but you can see this enormous chamber. Sorry, Miette, you were going to go through?
Sorry, yeah, I'm going to go through as well. I mean, no one's screaming yet, so.
No. So as you go through as well, you step through this sort of darkness and into this enormous chamber. It's a good 300 feet or more up, but it's bathed in a soft orange light. And snow appears to be outlined in red.
Oh, that's
Who's
pearly.
the chosen one?
How'd you do that, Snow?
Sorry, Miss D, say that again.
He is the chosen one.
Apparently so.
How'd you do that, Snow?
I'll follow the rest of them through, saying to Melissa, I'm not sure where the rest have gone, but I think it's best we follow.
Might be a wise idea. You keep filling me in on what's happening.
Oh, I'll go as well.
So, as you lead the two humans in, you step through this dark doorway, as it were, and immediately you're in this huge chamber, and the humans can see this as well. The soft orange light, and in about 40, 50 feet in front of you, snow just outlined in red, and one of his bags just glowing.
Peculiar.
Snow, your bag's
Oh,
low.
shit.
Anything about this room jogging my memory?
You
Can Snow move?
And he sort of moves along the top of the place.
you can move. You see him moving.
Snow, you're very red right now.
Yes, I can see that.
Sorry, Miss D, you were going to do something. Sorry, before.
Sorry. I was saying that we will all have heard the water dripping.
Yes.
Yes?
So,
Go anywhere near water.
Yeah, indeed. So we've got in the room, as you all look around, there are pools of water on the floor. Just, you assume, just small puddles of water. And every now and again, there's a splash on the floor, as if water is coming from above.
So I think we need to leave now.
Mm,
Why?
probably a good idea.
I think this place is reacting to either you or something you have.
The only thing I've got is the box, and
That's what I'm thinking.
it's glowing. So if it's glowing, I would say it's probably something to do with that.
Is there
Maybe
any-
what's in that box is a key, right? And it opens this place to lots of treasure.
Oh, treasure! Come on, let's have a look.
And
I
I
don't
know
mind,
you.
y'all, that the contract is void if we open that box.
Well,
I
what
mean,
was
get
that?
We
the
won't
paper
meant to
too.
get it wet.
Also true.
We're also risking Snow's reputation here, and I
Indeed.
don't think that's something we want to do.
Oh, you didn't talk about opening the box. I just wanted to see what we find in here.
Is there anything about this room jogging my memory?
As you look around the room, you can see, as in addition to these small puddles everywhere, about 100 feet in front of you, there is what looks like a small dais about 20 feet across that's stepped up, circular, and in the middle of it there is a large stone chair. You know where you've seen this chair before. This is in your temple. This is the Temple of the Broken Hearts centerpiece. You know this chair. It's where she sits.
Gonna step up and towards the chair, probably with Florian and hop pursuit.
You get to the chair.
I've seen this before. This is the temple.
You look around, and the style is the style in which the temple back in Dar has been built in.
I kind of stand in the position I'd normally be stood when when events are happening, and see if the view is particularly similar.
Make a wisdom check, please.
Wisdom.
I want to make sure that there's nothing around us, sort of trying to sneak towards us or anything.
Make a perception check.
15.
15. It feels weird. You stand where you normally stand, and just for an instant you can see all the people that would normally be in all the different places. You can see her sat in the chair beside you, and Florian a couple of steps down, and then it's all gone again. But that feeling was really very weird.
What is going on here?
I got 15.
15. You don't see anybody trying to sneak up on you. It seems to be empty. There's quite a lot more dripping of water than you first heard, and Snow's bag is getting brighter.
I don't think I like this place.
This is surreal.
Can you see any treasure, Yorick?
Say again, Gus?
Can you see any treasure?
I can't see any treasure right now.
We need to leave.
Really?
I'm going to lead the party out of this place, so when that box explodes, I'm not caught in it.
Okay, so give me a survival check. Make sure you can remember which way you came in, because things are a bit weird.
I cannot.
Okay, you spin round
That was a non-natural one.
looking for that patch of blackness that you walked through. It's not there. You look round, there are no doorways. It's all stone with
No,
carvings of hearts,
That's what I was about to ask. Can I see carvings similar to my holy symbol?
You can, lots of them. But they're very,
The door
very
is gone.
old.
I'm just kind of stood there looking around in awe at everything around me.
I'm going to go over to one of the puddles.
Okay.
And go, hey Gus, and kick some water in.
You bugger.
Yep, you get wet. The puddles are
I've,
not deep at all. It's just surface water.
I've never seen you lost for words.
Wow. Maybe surprising y'all, but this is a spitting image of the temple back home.
It's a lot bigger, but it's very, very similar.
Question is, what is it doing here?
Who knows?
You should know, surely.
Snow is getting very, very uncomfortable, and he's got a white knuckle grip on the tulwar and the throwing knife.
I am now racking my brains for everything that Vale has taught me.
Okay.
Well, we should have in here, shouldn't we?
I think we should leave. I don't like it here.
Well, you've already heard.
We can't leave. The door is gone.
What? The door's gone?
What do you mean the door's gone? Don't be stupid.
I'm going to gesture towards the stone walls and the lack of door.
Can I see if I can find it?
I'll go to Mia to see if I can find it.
Okay. Pair of you, what are you doing? You just going to look, or are you going to run your hands over the walls? What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to sort of start fiddling around,
Okay.
see if I can...
Investigation check.
Yeah, same.
Investigation check.
14.
14. It's dressed stone with carvings of hearts. And
11.
yeah, it's dressed stone with carvings of hearts. There's the occasional female face of a tiefling.
Okay, I'll give you that one. The door has gone.
Well, at least that means if the door's gone, then the fog can't get us.
And
This
whatever's
is-
in the box will kill us instead.
Why? It's not underwater, is it?
Melissa, I guess you should do
Something
something.
ears reacting to it.
Is there anything jumping out at me from my training, teachings?
The only thing that is concerning you right now is how almost identical this place is to your temple.
This
Apart from, there are female carvings of a female face. Not very many, just 2 or 3. But your female face you recognise.
Care to
probably get
explain?
distracted
Melissa?
by them a few times.
I'll just snap my fingers in front of her face. She's looking a bit
Don't.
fake.
What is it, Melissa?
This is just like my temple. It's a little bigger than I know, and it definitely ain't this old. Ain't nothing I heard of.
Snow's beginning to pace. He's getting very, very
Snow, can you
uncomfortable.
remove your bags? Step away from them.
Looking at the glow around Snow.
Sorry, did you hear that, Snow? So Miette was asking you to.
Can you remove your bags and step away from them?
Okay.
I'm going to step over Snow and obviously show him what I'm doing so it just goes as less badly as possible, but take out one of my daggers and attempt to try and cut through the straps to remove his bags for him.
He's going to immediately turn, put one dagger to her throat, and put the other one straight at her heart.
Hey, no fighting in this holy site. I have an arrow drawn. I want you two to stop it. right now.
This is not a holy site. We are trapped here.
Holy side if it's got my symbol all over these walls.
Maybe you could do something useful and
Why are
find
you keeping us here?
That's what I'm trying to do.
The chime.
Come on, let's go search for treasure.
The chime that you're hearing, Snow, is now like a heartbeat.
Why don't we look in
Slightly
that?
musical.
Do the rest of you hear anything?
The rest of you do not. You hear the dripping of water.
Did you say Yorick?
Why don't we look in the box? It seems to be something.
I don't think that's wise.
What
Well-
are you hearing?
Do we all see
Incidentally,
that?
I'm going to pull up my dagger and, try and step away from the pointies that Snow has at me.
Fair enough.
Do we see the glow on
do see
Snow
the
in
glow.
that bag? Does that ring familiar to me either?
I mean, it's a red glow.
Is it a constant or is it sort of pulse?
It's a constant.
Is there anything else in this chamber? Because we're looking around searching for treasure.
Are you now? So let's have a couple of perception checks for those treasure seekers.
Okay.
18.
18.
4.
4. Now, as far as you can say, it's just stone walls and floor.
Too busy trying to think how I can get Yorick back for kicking water at me.
Yeah. Yorick, you look around and there are what appear to be stone benches around the edge, the very far edge. You can see that there are 4 of them lined up, one behind the other. But there are no doors, there's no boxes full of treasure. That appears to be it.
Is there anything special about those benches, or are they just benches?
They just look like benches. Nicely made. You can appreciate a good bit of stonework when you see it.
What do you hear, Snow?
It was a chime, but now it's more like a heartbeat, almost musical.
Why don't you try sitting on the bone chair then?
No.
Why not?
Seat for a particular person.
Who?
High priestess of our faith sits there.
Well, she can't sit here because she said you didn't even know about it.
Got you there.
And I'm just kind of muttering something infernal.
Just have a look in the box, shall we?
Well, I
No,
had heard that.
If it makes you feel any better, I promise I can fix the box after.
Make a
Make it
perception
look like
check.
it was never. Make it look like it was never tampered with.
They have other ways of knowing, Yorick.
It's only a 10.
10. No. You can see Melissa's muttering something, but you didn't catch what it was.
Well, we seem to be trapped in here, and unless Melissa starts talking and tells us where the bloody door is, we're going to be here for a while.
I'll, in a slight huff from Trellador saying it like that, I'll look to where the exit would normally be. To my mind.
You look towards which one? Because in your temple, there's the main entrance that supplicants come through, that the chair is facing, and you know that there's a door out to Vale's chambers.
I would look for both,
Okay.
starting with the front entrance, then the side door.
You see nothing. Neither door is where you would expect it to be.
None of the usual doors are here.
Please.
I'm going to wander over to the spot where the door to Vale's chambers would be, and carefully look at the stone around that area.
Okay.
Has the brightness of the box dimmed or got brighter as I've moved up to, or is the red glow around me changed as I've moved through to different areas?
It doesn't appear to have, no.
Okay.
Seems to be fairly constant. The noise, the heartbeat, the boom, 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 boom. There's a sort of slight metallic ring to it. Sorry, I've just seen the chat. What's on the chair? What's on the chair? Fear the chair. I know. I understand your chair phobia. Yeah, that has a slight metallic ring to it, musical ring. As if somebody's striking a deep bell, but in a sort of boom, 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 with a heartbeat style. And
Is there any difference in the cadence of that as we move?
It's getting louder. It's getting more and more difficult to hear other people. You can't, certainly the people that are further away from you, you can't hear at all. You can see their mouths moving, you know they're talking, but you can't hear them. You heard Miette when she was close to you, but as she's now backed away because you've dagger.
Yorick, should we go sit on that chair while she's not looking?
I'm
All right, come
probably,
on then.
whilst I'm investigating, I am keeping an eye on that chair.
No,
Well,
no,
you can, well,
go investigate the wall.
hang on. You can investigate the wall, but you can't
Yeah,
keep an eye on
I'll
the
be
chair at the same time.
I'll be investigating the wall.
Okay, so make an investigation check.
I'm keeping a concerned eye on Snow.
Snow seems a little
Agitated.
perturbed.
16.
16. You run your fingers over the wall where you know the shape of the door should be. And there's nothing there. It's just carved stone. And as you're feeling around, you feel something, and you look, and it's another carving of Vale's face. This time, rather than the smiling, beautiful visage you're used to, this is a scowling, more annoyed kind of image.
I'll kind of just say in Infernal, what's wrong?
So,
While she's doing that, we're going to run over to the chair and climb up on it.
okay. So, you run over to the chair. Are you sitting in the chair? Or you just stand on it, or what are you going to do? It's
What?
fairly large. You could probably both sit in it if you want. It's got big
Well,
stone arms.
And we'll climb up on both of us, sit on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, gosh, you're all wet.
Oh, I wonder why. Bloody boy.
So as you turn from investigating this wall and finding this carving, you turn and you see both the dwarves sort of sitting in this big chair where Vale would sit. Now, she normally sit on the edge of it and sort of have her arms sort of spread out on the side. And the two of them are sort of jammed in together, sort of squished up against each other on this chair.
Legs just kind of flapping
Yeah.
on the end.
Yeah, little boots just like...
I'll walk up the steps towards the chair with a frown on my face. Off now.
Why?
That's a fair question.
I'm pretty certain this is some kind of holy site connected to my faith, and I don't want y'all desecrating it.
We're not desecrating it. We're just sitting in a chair. We haven't said nothing nasty about it, have we? Or pooed anywhere.
This,
Inspiration, please.
I've still got one.
this would be the seat of the priestess.
Oh, that's good.
I don't see you two as priestesses.
All right. Just let's get off. I can appreciate someone's faith.
Thank you.
Oh, all right.
We've pooed anywhere.
Well, you know, dwarves.
Yeah, no, definitely. I know these two.
You holding up, Snow? That noise still happening?
You can see her lips moving, Snow, but you can't hear her.
I'm going to get a little bit closer to Snow, within about 10 feet, but slowly, so I'm trying not to scare the big cat.
I was not so much scared as
Well, I've already seen your reaction to Miette trying to get close to you, so I'm just approaching cautiously.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Again, nothing. All you can hear is boom, 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 boom. In your ears. It's filling your ears.
I'm going to sort of inch forward if I don't get a response. Snow?
You can see her lips moving. She's obviously talking to you, but you have no clue.
I'll get close enough to just put a cautious hand on his shoulder. Are you okay?
It's fairly obvious he cannot hear you.
Try and gesture to him to maybe put the bag at his feet, and I'll just sort of back up a little bit.
Make a perception check, Snow. See if you understand what she's trying to say.
9.
Nope. You have no idea. She's done something.
I'll point directly at him and then take my own bag off my shoulder and put it to the ground by my feet, and then again point at him, trying to make it as clear as possible.
Okay, that you understand.
Yeah. Trying to think.
And I'm just going to look with a very concerned look on my face at him.
He's very, very reluctant, but he'll sort of unclasp it and pull it round. And sort of, is there a sort of shelf or something near him?
I mean, you could wander over to the benches. Those 4 stone benches.
He'll
Put
walk
it
over to
there.
one of the benches and sort of put it down, but sort of just very defensively stand there.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
As you put it down, the sound, as you let go, the sound lessens in your ears
Snow?
to where your hearing slowly comes back to normal and you can no longer hear this noise.
Snow?
I can hear you now.
I don't like that whatever it is in that box is making you not being able to hear us.
Like I said, it's almost like a heartbeat musical. It's probably connected to this place.
If you want to stay with the bag and the box, I can understand that, but I think we need to get out of here.
Come on then, Yorick, let's see if we can find a door.
All right.
Usual exits ain't there.
I could, with the lady's permission, I could try and break through the wall.
There's a page on Melissa's face to that.
Maybe just check around first before we come to some drastic
Well,
measures.
tell us where the normal entrance is, and Yorick can just bang on it with his hammer and see if he can find a hollow bit.
Well, I've got the feeling that my reputation's not going to survive this, but do what you will with the box.
No, I want to keep that as a last resort. We don't want to risk your reputation. Not if we don't have to.
I wasn't talking to you. He's looking directly at Melissa.
As far as I'm concerned, I know you don't trust me because I'm from Dollar. As far as I'm concerned, my temple is honest. I can tell you that our goal is mostly focused on keeping people safe. We call it the Temple of the Broken Heart because we take in those that have been spurned by their lovers, those who have been forced into marriage or just ain't feeling it no more. Really, we're a temple of divorce, but we do our best to make sure that love is spread and everyone in the world is being kind to each other.
I feel I must apologize for my manner. It's bred into me that
I understand. I've seen much of the treading waters. I know how much your honor and reputation is to you. Then I'll step forward and kind of gingerly pick up the box and carefully inspect it.
You pick the box out of Snow's bag. It's a square box. It's glowing red. And as you touch it, you can feel and the light, the red glow, starts to go in time with this.
How's the box closed?
You look over it. Doesn't seem to be an opening. It's just a metal cube.
Carefully feel over the box to see
It's
if I can
very
find
heavy.
how it opens.
Make an investigation check or Arcana check. Entirely up to you.
Okay. 17.
17. Okay. It's, you sense that the what's inside is magical. The box itself has you can see there's a very, very, very small hinge along one of the edges. So you go to the other edge and you can see a fine hairline crack that you could maybe prise open if you wanted to.
Here, Florian, give me a hand with this. I'm going to try and pry the box open.
Snow walks away into the farthest corner away from this because he knows what it means.
So Florian walks over to you and says something. You have no idea what he says. All you can hear is
Florian, you're going to have to speak up. I can't hear you, honey.
again. He speaks, he mouths at you, nothing.
Here, just try and help me wedge this open. And I'll get him to help me because I'm not the strongest and try and prise the box
You're
open.
going to prise the box open. What are you using to pry this box open?
I'm going to use one of my swords, one of my scimitars.
Sure.
I would have thought Florian would have used one of his throwing things, wouldn't he? 'Cause that'd be small and sharp and could probably work
He
better.
can probably try that.
If only there was a party.
I'm using the blade of my scimitar to try and wedge that in.
Okay.
And Florian to help me.
If there was only 2 rogues in the party.
If there only were a rogue.
One of them's walked away.
Yep. So you try to.
And the other's an opportunity.
It's just the sword blade, while sharp, it's not quite fine enough to get into this tiny, tiny crack.
Florian, one of your darts going to be good enough here.
He can certainly try. Let's have a go.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those. I have thieves' tools and tinker tools.
Nice. Right, so let's do a quick strength check. Saving throw.
That's random, Martin. Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
14. So he got a 14. He manages to get the dart in and just sort of tries to, and he's just like, and the metal buckles as if it were a lid of a bottle. It just buckles in the middle, and you need to make a. Where has he gone? A Constitution saving throw.
From the film Seven, James.
Oops.
From the film Seven.
Yeah.
Right.
Not completely random.
17. Keep
17.
rolling high today.
You're fine. Florian, however, catches a dart, a tiny, tiny dart in his hand, lets go of the box, and takes where are we? 1d4 piercing, 1d4 poison. So 2 points of piercing damage and 4 points of poison damage.
Damn
6
things.
overall.
Trap. Put the box down.
Have you tried asking nicely the box to open?
So the lid is now sort of open-ish, and you can see inside, and you can see this deep red glow that's pulsing.
I'll kind of pick the box back up again and look closely inside.
You
Try
can
and
see
push the lid open a bit more.
about 2.5, 3 inches across, by the same height, a red ruby in the shape of a heart.
Isn't that the prettiest thing?
And it's far heavier than it should be for the size of it.
I'm gonna kind of walk up the steps back to the seat.
Okay. So are you taking it out of the box, or are you leaving it in the box?
I'm
as you?
carrying the box
Okay.
with me for now.
So you'll see as Melissa walks back up the steps to the seat with this box in her hands that's now got a ruined lid on it. What would you like to do?
Melissa, I can maybe tell you what that is if you give me a minute.
Yarick, honey, could you speak up? I can't hear a word you're saying.
Oh. I was saying.
And again, you hear nothing. You can see his lips flapping, but
She can't hear you while she holds the box.
So I'm going to look back at the heart. I'm just racking my brains at this point.
okay, make
I've never seen or heard of anything like this.
either an intelligence check. Actually, yeah, we'll just go with an intelligence check.
20.
20. As you look at the heart in the box, you raise your eyes to look at the back of the chair. You see a small indentation about the same size. Because, nobody looks at chairs.
Very cautiously lift.
That's where we'll end it for
gemstone.
tonight.
Oh,
Just as you go,
brilliant.
cool, well, that went in an interesting way, didn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting you to go there quite so soon.
Well, Snow, if you're going to blame anyone for this, you should blame the dwarves. They were the ones who went in here and
Oh no,
practiced.
I collectively blame all of you.
We didn't know that. We did.
What did I do?
You colluded.
You
I
followed.
tried to protect your reputation.
I could have sworn there was something about, convincing the two dwarves to come up the stairs, and then there was someone, I can't quite remember who, but there was just one person who collected the the rest of the party to go after the dwarves, but I mean, does anyone remember that person's
I'm not
name?
sure.
Yeah, I feel like that person just left the dwarves on their own to explore this strange, mysterious ruin.
No one would be that stupid, would they?
No.
Oh,
So,
that's stupid.
Well,
two
in
highly inquisitive
fairness, this
dwarves.
person was the only one that had prior knowledge for it.
Vinny's going to be so cross with me because he was
'Cause you
already
damaged
low
him.
on health.
He shouldn't
Oh,
be.
he wouldn't have
Oh, he
rolled
shouldn't
any
have been,
better.
should he? Hang on, let
He
me
would
put
long
that
rested.
back on. So that was
Yeah.
6. So let me just long rest that 1 second
Yeah, because
and then do it. Cool.
Yes,
Okay.
if it helps, James and I will take full responsibility for, creating some chaotic fun in the party.
No, it is much appreciated. So anyway, thank you all very much for playing. I know it can get a bit chaotic at times with so many players. So if you just be aware of, speaking over each other, sometimes can get a bit chaotic. So just bear that in mind. But thank you all very much for watching. We had lots of viewers this evening. Thank you again, Grumpy Bear, MVP in the chat as always. There's some fantastic stuff in there. We are back with this on Sunday, obviously, for the next episode. So please tune in, tell your friends. It'll be awesome. We've also got, where are we? Tuesday. So we've got Thursday, we've got WoW Fun coming up. Friday, I believe, is go and see Ant Chapman because he's awesome. Links are on the channel. Go and see him on Friday evening. That'll be really good fun for you. Saturday, our dear friends at Role Playing Gamers are having a live stream from 2 o'clock in the afternoon UK time. Check them out. Bees and Merv, what have they been doing while they've been in prison? I mean, it's going to be chaos, isn't it? Let's face it. So anyway, have a wonderful rest of your weeks, people. We will see you back here very soon. We love you very much, and bye-bye now.
Bye.